back, second baseman Dan Uggla. Hey, everybody, Tom Hart at Turner Field. Uggla was in action last night for the Gwinnett Braves as he works his way back from LASIK surgery, and it was a successful stint at the AAA level. This is his first ever AAA hit, and it was a home run to left field at Coolray Field against the Norfolk Tides. That's right, Uggla skipped AAA on his way to the big leagues, being Rule 5 from the Diamondbacks to the Marlins. He said it was simple, what he was looking for when he went down to work his way back, and he was able to accomplish those goals with that one at-bat.
I was just hoping to get some good quality at-bats in, really kind of just see if I was going to be able to tell a difference, and with that, try and get some hits and hit the ball hard and just get more comfortable.
Uggla is just one more key player who's spent significant time on the disabled list so far this season. The guys discussed Jason Hayward and what he's done at the top of the lineup, but still, this team with a commanding lead and a magic number down to 19. How have they done it? With 21 different players on the disabled list, that's the most in baseball. Projected starting 8 has only been on the field together 28 times. Every starting outfielder has been on the DL. Every single catcher, half the rotation, and a good chunk of the bullpen has had to be rebuilt. So credit Freddie Gonzalez and his coaching staff for keeping this team in first place. And now tonight they're able to welcome Dan Uggla back. And as the guys mentioned a moment ago, that depth continues to be built, especially behind the infield. Braves looking for a series win behind the pitching of Paul Maholm. Himself fresh off the disabled list. He was just fine last time out against St. Louis. He looks to keep it going. It's the M&M boys, Masterson and Maholm. Chip, Joe, and Dale have the call when we return to Turner Field.
As we get you ready for Game 2 of this series between the Braves and the Indians, Atlanta won 2-0 last night, had just 3 hits. Cleveland had a ton of scoring opportunities, but left 10 men on base last night. Michael Bourne leads off their Toyota starting 9. Nick Swisher, Jason Kipnis second and third. Santana catches, Cabrera plays short. Avilos is at third, and then Brantley, Stubbs, and Masterson, the bottom of the order. And they'll take aim at Paul Maholm, the Braves starter tonight.
It's his 22nd start of the year. He's 9-10, a 4.51 ERA. His home road splits are favorable this time because at home he's 5-2 with a 1.93 ERA. He's pitched great here at Turner Field. Lifetime 0-2 against the Cleveland Indians in 3 starts. His 4 keys to pitching success tonight, well, obviously home sweet home. He's happy to be back at Turner Field, his first start back home since the disabled list, and put him away. I think part of the problem he had in St. Louis was that he was throwing strikes, he'd get ahead, and then he couldn't finish a guy, and he wound up walking 3 guys, and the last one he walked was very instrumental in that big 3-run inning they had.
Michael Bourne, Jim Joyce with his distinctive strike call gets the proceedings underway tonight. 88 degrees. And first pitch. Michael Bourne, 1 for 5 last night. And he takes upstairs. Michael struck out twice in his 5 trips last evening. He led off with a single. And the Tribe fellows were collectively kicking themselves with all of the missed opportunities they had while at the plate against Alex Wood last night.
Well, they finished the night with 6 hits, 4 walks, 5 walks total. They had plenty of opportunities, plenty of base runners, and took an offer in the hitting with runners in scoring position category.
Freddie Freeman at first takes care of Michael Bourne on a soft ground ball. 1 up, 1 down for Mahalam. Freddie Freeman was outstanding last night defensively, as was Andrelton Simmons. Those two combined to make a couple of terrific plays on the Atlanta infield. B.J. Upton back in the lineup tonight. Jordan Schaefer is in right field. And B.J. Upton playing tonight because he's had tremendous luck at the plate against Justin Masterson. Freddie Gonzalez said he will try to match up B.J. Upton with as many favorable opposing pitchers as he can. Tonight might be one of them.
It's interesting, Chip, you say about Freddie's defense last night. Typically, when you talk about someone's defense, it's the balls that are hit to you. Last night, they were the balls that were thrown to him.
That's a good point.
Great plays over there at first. Throwing balls, a couple from Andrelton and one from Elliott Johnson.
Yeah, Elliott's was like a Nolan Ryan fastball.
Point blank range.
Nick Swisher, he's the Indians' first baseman. And he takes outside ball 2. Dan Uggla back in the lineup. I guess you could say Elliott Johnson's part of the pit crew tonight.
That he is. Great interview last night with Tom. It was fun.
Good sense of humor. Keeping it loose.
Swisher gets a 3-1 pitch to hit, and he hits it. Straightaway center field, a 1-out single for Nick, his first hit of the series. Here's Jason Kipnis, an Indians All-Star.
Paul walked 2 batters in the first inning in St. Louis, and then he went through a stretch where he retired 11 of the next 12 prior to that walk of Cosma that led to a big inning. But again, during that stretch of 11 out of 12, he was on a good roll. He was just on some of the hits and some of the walks. He'd get ahead and couldn't finish hitters.
Kipnis with 16 homers, 75 knocked in. He doubled in the 5th inning last night. It's strike 1. Already a big year for the Indians. They've surpassed last season's win total. They are stockpiling some young power arms in their rotation and their bullpen. Begin play tonight, 5.5 games behind the Tigers, and now 3 games back for the final wild card spot in the American League.
And they know they can't really afford to slip much more with the schedule they have upcoming.
After the Braves series, the Indians have the Tigers, then the Orioles. And while this 9-game stretch may not be a season-defining stretch, if they go 3-6, it's going to be real tough to dig out of that. Fly ball well hit center. And Upton turned the wrong way, but got back in time to the track. And a deep fly to center off the bat of Kipnis is out number 2.
You know, Chip, I'm not sure that he really turned the wrong way. That ball really had a bend to it. I don't know if you guys saw that too, but it was like it sliced off his bat, so he had to make a correction. That ball started off on the right field side of second.
Yeah, I agree with you, Joe. I think it did, and you don't see that very often in center field. It's always in right and left does the ball break that way, but very unusual ball flight there.
So, yeah, you're right. A better way of putting it. Nice adjustment by Upton.
It was a good adjustment, Chip, and that's what you teach the young kids to do. If this is not, you'll notice that when he turned, he turned to his glove side instead of, you don't want to get your legs crossed up. You just want to keep going that way. He did a good job of adjusting, but it was a real strange trajectory for a ball hit to center field.
This is Carlos Santana, the Cleveland catcher. His 7-game hitting streak came to an end last night. He walked a couple of times and also grounded out to short twice. Santana's walked 72 times this year. That's good for 4th in the American League. Now it's 3-1. One thing we've learned about Paul Maholm, you know pretty early if he has his A stuff. He's about to throw his 18th pitch of the first inning. And that was around the plate. First and second, 2 outs for the shortstop, Asdrubal Cabrera. He's another hot Cleveland hitter. He's sporting an 8-game hitting streak. And had 3 hits last night. Cabrera played for Team Venezuela in the World Baseball Classic. He's been the starting shortstop 6 straight opening days for the Cleveland club. Swisher and Santana measure their leads with 2 outs. And another ground ball to short. Simmons will flip to Dan Uggla. And Maholm is out of the top of the first inning. Cleveland strands 2 more men. The Braves come up against Justin Masterson in the first inning next. Against right-hander Justin Masterson of the Cleveland club. Here's how Braves line up tonight. Different look, of course, with Dan Uggla back in the starting nine. B.J. Upton follows him in the order. He's in center field because B.J. is 6 for 15 lifetime against Masterson, and that includes a home run. And this guy, fellas, having a good year for the Tribe.
Absolutely, he is. 14-game winner. His 7 starts since the break. He's actually gotten even better. 4-2 with a 2.87 ERA since the All-Star break. Big, strong guy. 28 years old, 6'6", 250. They got him from Boston in a deal that included Victor Martinez going from Cleveland to the Red Sox. His 4 keys to pitching success tonight: sick 'em lefties. Right-handers are only hitting $188 against him, and he's got a 2-seam fastball that is outstanding and what gives right-handers the most fits. Good, hard sinker in the low to mid-90s.
And one of those lefties greets him here in the first, Jordan Schaefer. And he lays a bunt down, and that's a foul ball. Strike one for Schaefer.
Masterson 14-9, a 3.50 ERA. There are the splits, lefties and righties. He's thrown 3 complete game shutouts already this year. 2 against the White Sox and 1 against the Yankees. And those 3 complete game shutouts, 2 of them he won 1-0.
Those HRs allowed to, home runs allowed to the right-handers. Wow, just 3.
Hard sinker.
Long arm action too, huh?
A little 3/4 or lower.
Downstairs, 2 balls and a strike.
Has some tree trunk legs too, doesn't he? Big, strong guy. Josh Johnson-like build.
And some history for Masterson. He is the first Jamaican-born pitcher in baseball history. Three balls, 2 strikes.
One of the things about him, though, that the Braves know and will work on tonight, and that's pitch count, because he's walked a lot of guys. 70 walks in 182 innings. In his last start, 6 2/3 innings against the Angels, 5 walks.
And a good start. He passes Jordan Schaefer. Leadoff walk to a fast runner. Let's see how the Braves parlay that in the opening inning.
He is 3rd in the American League for most walks, now with 71. His teammate, Ubaldo Jimenez, is 2nd with 73. And Luke Carroll of Houston, 74.
We'll see Ubaldo here tomorrow night for Cleveland. That will wrap up the series. So here's one of those right-handed bats for the Braves. Justin Upton, 24 homers, 64 knocked in. But in a roller coaster season offensively, he's in one of those dry spells again. Justin's got just 1 hit in his last 22 at bats. Schaefer's running. The pitch, a strike. Throw to second is nowhere near. Heck of a job by Kipnis to keep that ball from sailing into right center field.
In our opening comments, we were talking about the Braves offense with the absence of Jason Hayward and the struggle to score runs. Well, Jordan Schaefer is the most likely guy to fill that spot, and this is the reason why. Get on, steal, try to get him in.
Yeah, really good to see Jordan be aggressive. You talked, Chip, about his release. Masterson's release kind of comes back, and it's a little bit of a long release. Allowed Jordan to get an extra step on him.
His 14th stolen base has him at second with nobody out. And a ground ball by Upton will not advance Schaefer. He's out number 1. So Masterson gets a comebacker and now has to face Freddie Freeman, who's hitting .448 this year with runners at second base or third. And beware the first pitch.
Sinker right there. The pitch before, he started him with as a breaking ball, but Greg Walker described his cutter as a cutter slider. He said it will move, you know, a foot, not just a couple of inches. Here's the first pitch to Freddie, and it was a ball. And that one wasn't a good one. He got under that one a little bit, but his cutter, according to Greg, is much more like a slider than most people's cutter.
Looked like he tried to backdoor that first one.
Mm-hmm.
And then he threw that sinker, but the last two look a little bit straight, a little bit more of a four-seamer, but he's throwing mid-90s. So
yeah.
Just because he doesn't have as much sink on it, when you're throwing mid-90s, it's still no piece of cake hitting it.
Strike three on a breaking ball. Impressive work there by Masterson. That's a big second out.
Yeah, that was the first pitch that he tried to backdoor and left it up, but that pitch right there. You know, you start a ball off the plate and comes back on, or a ball that's on the plate and goes off. That's he's got both of those pitches at that velocity. Tough to hit. Great location with that pitch.
First pitch swing by Chris Johnson, and Aviles at third makes the throw across the diamond, and that retires the side. The Braves got a leadoff walk and a steal by Jordan Schaefer, but are unable to bring home the game's first run in our first inning. A big lead in their divisional race, but there's another race that we will keep an eye on here over the final month of the season, and that race is the subject of our Ram Trucks Power Stats.
And that is the best record in the National League, which then you have earned home field advantage to the playoffs. If you wind up with the best record, the Braves still a game and a half up on St. Louis, who have taken the first two from Cincinnati in their series. The Dodgers did win today. They beat the Cubs to salvage one game of that series. Cubs have played them tough.
And I think they had to bench Puig again today. In fact, they had a closed-door meeting with Don Mattingly and General Manager Ned Coletti in Los Angeles with Puig today. Aviles takes a strike.
You can Velasco had a good day. I'm told 11 Ks in 8 innings for the Dodgers.
Another strike to Mike Aviles, the Cleveland third baseman. Velasco's now 6-1 since joining the Dodgers. Check swing, Freeman at first. He'll take it to the bag easily. And the leadoff man retired in the Indians' second. Fans, you can save up to 47% on seats to the Braves series against the Marlins this weekend with tonight's steal of the week. Buy a field reserve ticket for only $36 and you'll get a Dale Murphy bobblehead for free. Act now to get this deal by visiting Braves.com/steal tonight. And folks, we have a great pitching matchup on tap for you Friday. As Michael Brantley is moved off the plate. Julio Teheran and Jose Fernandez. At 7:35 first pitch.
That should be a beauty.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Paul's got a good breaking ball here early on.
That caught a corner. Brantley took it. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You might remember that breaking ball hurt him in that inning where he gave up all those doubles after the walk. I think 3 straight doubles. A couple of them were on breaking balls. He was trying to bury on the back foot of Holiday and Beltran. Didn't get him in there.
I can't think of 2 more differently constructed teams as far as the RISP stat is concerned than the St. Louis Cardinals and the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah, vastly different, aren't they?
Cardinals hitting over 320 as a team this year with runners in scoring position. The Indians
crazy.
In the 260s. But remember, they have the DH most of the time. They don't have that weapon for Terry Francona in the National League ballpark for this series.
Well, as we learned being there 4 days, they just don't give up at bats. They don't have any soft at bats and go through an inning without really battling. And their first thought is to hit the ball the other way. Just about every guy that comes up there.
That ball's hit hard the other way by Brantley, but Simmons made another fine play at short.
I asked Andrelton about that play he made last night where it scared everybody to death when he rolled over on his hand and wrist. And he said, you know, I really, most of the weight wound up on my shoulder. And he said, thank goodness I'm not very big. He said so that there wasn't a whole lot of weight falling on my wrist and hand to begin with. Here's that play last night. Had his glove kind of caught under him. And he said, no, it was okay. No trouble.
And you see an awkward play like you automatically think the worst.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, that's one of the many advantages of natural grass fields. In the old days, if you had on an AstroTurf field, you put your wrist under like that, it would just grab and no give to it. So there's a little bit of sliding that happens as a result of being on natural grass.
That's a good thought.
I've seen a number of outfielders over the years that as soon as they do that, got a sprained wrist. Well, the first 2 hitters, Joe, you mentioned what got Paul into a little bit of trouble last start was he got ahead of guys and then started nibbling. So the first 2 guys he got ahead of and stayed right after him. I like that. A little bit behind here to Drew Stubbs.
Yeah, even the pitch to Vilas, you know, it was close enough to being a strike that he couldn't afford to take it, and that's where he's at his best, where Paul's at his best, where he's just tantalizing you enough that you've still got to swing the bat when he's ahead in the count.
Payoff pitch due now to the 8th place hitter, Drew Stubbs. And the breaking ball catches him looking. 3 up, 3 down for Mahalam in the top of the second inning. Brian McCann, Dan Uggla, and B.J. Upton are coming up. We head to the Braves half of our second inning. All season long, Braves baseball on Sports South is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day. Masterson loosening for his second inning of work as Brian McCann gets ready for his first at bat tonight. Another good crowd on a school night tonight. Braves went over the 2 million mark in attendance last night. 23 straight years, fellas. The Braves have drawn 2 million fans or better here in Atlanta.
How many?
23 straight.
That's great. Keep it climbing.
Easy to understand why folks are coming out to the ballpark in good numbers. The Braves are 45-18 at Turner Field so far this year. McCann goes the other way with a base hit. Brantley tries to cut it off. The ball's bobbled, and it'll be a long single for Brian McCann. First hit of the night for Atlanta, and a good start to the inning.
Watching batting practice today, there were several guys just really taking good hacks, and Brian was one of them. And this was one of the things he was trying to do, was against this shift, take a single the other way. Just did a line drive to the opposite field where there's nobody playing. Paid off for him in that at bat.
Yeah, for sure. And even if you're not trying to beat the shift, it's a good thought to have anyway. It'll always keep your hands inside the baseball. Good to see Dan Uggla back in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the disabled list August 13, had the LASIK vision procedure, 2 rehab games, and now back with the big club.
I asked him if those 2 games in Gwinnett, if there was an obvious difference in his ability to see the baseball. And he didn't come out and go, oh, yeah, there was 100%. It's 180 degrees better than it was. I saw everything, saw the spin, all that stuff. He didn't say that. But what he did say was that what the surgery is going to do is give him confidence. He knows that when he goes to the plate, he's going to be able to see the pitch. He's not going to have to worry, am I going to see the ball out of his hand clearly this time? He said that is what's going to make the biggest difference for him.
That ball was in the left-hand batter's box, and he is down on strikes for the first out of the inning.
Not sure he saw that one.
1 out. B.J. Upton, 6 for 15 lifetime against Masterson. A home run.
Want my theory on why?
Sure.
After I just said what I said, I don't know if you really want to hear what I have to say.
Well, always welcome an educated guess.
All right, we've talked all season long about BJ's strength being down and in. And if he gets something, fastball in particular, something down and in where he can just drop the barrel on it inside, he rakes it. That's what this guy throws. He throws a hard two-seam sinker.
That would hit a mile high on the infield. Cabrera in the center of the diamond makes the catch. Upton pops out, and that's the second out of the second inning. Andrelton Simmons is the batter. He's got 12 hits in his last 11 games. And a .425 on base percentage in that stretch. At the very least, he'd love to reach so the Braves could clear Paul Maholm.
Masterson kind of looks like a right-handed Madison Bumgarner. You know how that ball goes way behind him.
Mm-hmm. That's a good call.
I never. It was always distracting for me because it's so out of the ordinary when you see the pitcher come with the ball back behind him. Kind of distracted me sometimes where you actually look at that as opposed to his release point, and sometimes it's hard to pick him up soon enough.
Well, he's really developed into the staff ace for this Cleveland club. Last year he was 11-15. Well, he's turned that around in 2013. 14 wins, 9 losses. He shaved almost a run and a half off his earned run average from last season to this year. And rapidly approaching 200 innings again. He's done that 2 straight seasons. Breaking ball is exploding away from the right-hand hitters right now.
Yes, indeed.
4th in strikeouts. Talked about the walks, 3rd most.
3rd most walks, but that goes to his ability to get it to sink. He's walking a lot of guys.
That's hit hard down the left field line by Simmons. Did he get enough? No, it's off the fence. Brantley played it beautifully. And it'll be a double for Andrelton. McCann stops at 3rd.
What a good play by Michael Brantley. And I understand that it's Brian McCann running and maybe someone else running on the crack of the bat might have had a chance to score, but watch how cleanly he plays this.
Yeah, I agree with you, Joe. He might have had a chance, but he played it so well. He was right in the right position. That's something you got to do when you get to new ballparks, is have your coach hit some off the wall and see how it reacts off the fence. He did do a good job. Got it in really quickly.
So Maholm will hit, a chance to help himself. He's knocked in 1 run this year. He's got 6 hits and 45 at bats. He's gone to 3-1. Jordan Schaefer would be the next Braves hitter.
Funny, he took a little off just to throw a batting practice fastball in there for a strike against the pitcher, and it threw Mahalam's timing all off.
He walked the pitcher. Second walk in as many innings, and the Braves have the bases loaded for Schaefer.
I was talking about some guys having good rounds of batting practice today and swinging it really well. Kind of lost in that double was that good swing that Anderson put on that pitch from Masterson. Anderson drawing compliments from his hitting coaches for his work today in the cage.
All year long, the Braves have been outstandingly effective with the bases loaded. Team .345 average. For Jordan Schaefer, this is his 5th at bat with the bases loaded. He's 1 for 4 so far. That's right there for a strike.
That breaking ball is looking like it's breaking so much that he's not really sure where it's going to go yet. He's had a couple guys swing at some bad ones. That ball is breaking a couple feet.
Are we getting to the point, even in the early stages of this game, fellas, where the left-hand hitters can eliminate that pitch from Masterson yet?
Freddie Freeman couldn't. Backdoor slider struck him out.
Yeah, that's true. That was his best. We got a nice favorable count here, though, for Jordan. Got a chance to make him really pay for walking the pitcher.
Santana just made a good play too. He wasn't even sure he caught that ball.
Line drive left field base hit. That'll score 1 for sure. Here comes Simmons around third. Brantley's throw is up the line. Jordan Schaefer singles. It's 2-0.
Big AB by Jordan Schaefer. Getting an opportunity like this early in the game where they walk the pitcher, that's exactly how you hit a good sinker. Got to hit it the other way. In fact, even right-handers got to hit a right-handed sinker the other way sometimes. You want to be careful not to get on top of it. And Jordan, as a left-hander, did exactly what you got to do as well. He had a good round of BP today, Joe.
Yeah, he did, and he had a good day Sunday. He had the double, the triple in St. Louis when the Braves pulled out that win in St. Louis, drove in a run, and tonight he's already walked, stolen a base, and driven in 2. So he's getting his swing back after a little bit of a rough start to his time after the DL.
And he's just matured as a ball player. I was talking to him today. He says, I'm just trying to have a good at bat every time I go up, instead of pressing too much and worrying about your career, where you're going to fit in, and look what he's done.
Justin Upton tries to bunt, and that's a foul ball for a strike.
Well, I'd like to see Justin swing it for sure.
So would his manager.
Yeah.
His manager just made a little walk there, too.
Freddie just walked down to get a drink of water.
Yeah, it was more like a, what?
Holland at second, Schaefer at first. 2 runs in. Way outside, even count.
Braves capitalize again with 2 outs. And it was all thanks to a walk to the pitcher that set it up.
A long inning for Masterson. He's about to make his 29th pitch of this second inning.
He started that pitch, Dale, and he wasn't even looking at home plate. He had already separated his hands before his eyes ever focused on the catcher.
Well, I'm sure he's a little out of sorts, that walk to the pitcher. They got him a little bit out of rhythm here. Hopefully he'll make another mistake here to Justin.
He did. A line drive into center field. Mahalam will be stopped at third, and the Braves have him loaded again. Atlanta has already surpassed its hit total from 8 innings of offense last night.
Sinker stayed on it. Look at his head and eyes. Again, anybody running except the pitcher, he's got an RBI.
Nice swing by Justin. Well, we got Masterson a little bit on the ropes. He obviously has not got his best stuff yet. Time to take advantage again.
And all you have here is Freddie Freeman, who's 6 for 8 with the bases loaded this year, and 448 with runners in scoring position.
Good man to have up there. Right man, right spot, Chip? I think so.
I would say. Now I'm thinking 1. And out of play foul. It's 0-2.
Threw the breaking pitch for a strike to start him. Struck him out with it last time up. So they try it again. More like a changeup.
Yeah, that was a little weird. It's a tough AB right here. You know, he backdoored you with a breaking ball and he's got you 0-2. Tough AB for Freddie.
And he struck him out, and that ends the inning. 8 men come to the plate for the Braves, and 2 of them score. McCann started with a leadoff single. Hamilton Simmons hit a double, then Jordan Schaefer with a 2-run scoring hit, and that gives Paul Mahalam a 2-0 lead heading to the 3rd inning.
Alex Wood, pitching that's good enough to match up with some of the best in baseball, especially in the month of August. He's the subject of our SunTrust Shining Moment. He's put up incredible numbers. He gets big outs when he needs to, and this is self-admittedly when he hasn't had his best stuff. He said at New York 2 starts ago, he picked up some bad habits on the mound there. Thought he carried him into the game last night, but once again, he was tremendous against the Indians. So how do his numbers stack up with some of the best, especially when the Braves start eyeing the postseason? Second lowest ERA in August behind Jose Fernandez of the Marlins and 3 other guys that most people in baseball think are locks to be postseason starters, of course, with Kershaw, Greinke, and Scherzer. That is really good company for a guy who's in his first year in the bigs.
Not too bad to have 2 rookies at the top of that group of guys, right, Tom?
Masterson bounces one over the glove of Chris Johnson down the left field line. And he has a leadoff hit for the Indians in the 3rd inning.
Well, he gets a chance to hit in the National League. You know, it was an interesting play, Joe. You talked last night about Andrelton Simmons never giving up on a play. There's a play a ball that bounces over Chris Johnson's head. And watch Andrelton go down there and make a diving stop. No chance to throw him out at first base, but you never know. Andrelton just never quits.
Bourne takes one right back through the legs of Mahalam. And the importance of that play for Simmons, guys, as deeply as Justin was playing in left, Masterson might have been able to turn that into a double.
Right. I think anybody else might have been thinking that and had a chance to if he hadn't gone out to get it.
Good point, Joe. You're right.
So Cleveland going after the first couple of pitches in the sequences in the inning. And they have back-to-back hits. And now Nick Swisher is the hitter.
I don't know if Paul was lucky or unlucky on that ball Bourne hit. If it strikes him somewhere, he might have had a chance at a double play.
In the dirt, 1 ball, no strikes.
Right through the legs. I'd say he's lucky that it didn't hit him in the shins or the knee.
Might have got a double play, but we might be minus a pitcher right now.
Two and one. Masterson led off with a hit. Michael Bourne followed with a single to center. And Swisher backed away from the ball that caught the corner on the inside. 2-2.
Boy, was that a good pitch. Caught the outside corner, so they kind of had him leaning in, trying to cover the outside third, and then a 2-seamer that came back. Swisher didn't like the call, but it was a good one.
Back to Mahalam. A chance for 1 and a chance for 2. Did Freeman hold it? Yes. Swisher could not outrun the arm of Andrelton Simmons at short. Runner to third, 2 outs.
As you said, Dale, a lot of times the good defense is not always, or it's usually a ball hit to you, not thrown to you. But Freddie once again comes through. So he struck out with the bases loaded. And now we'll see how this turns out. If somehow Mahalam can retire Kipnis, then Freddie just saved a run defensively by getting that out at first base.
Simmons has already saved a run. Hustling down the line.
You're right, Chip. Exactly, and there's a play there. As soon as Mulholland bobbled it, as soon as he didn't catch it cleanly, I thought there's no chance of getting a double play. Quick release by Andrelton and great play by Freddie.
Slow roller to second. Kipnis and the Indians continue to be frustrated in runners in scoring position situations. I've got him 0 for 10 so far in the series, and Paul Mulholland wiggles out of trouble in the third inning. He leads by a 2-0 score. Big tip of the cap to Paul Mulholland, pitching out of a 2-on, nobody out mess. And he keeps the Indians off the scoreboard. Braves fans, Delta Flyaway is back. Grab your phone and text Delta to South. That's Delta to 76884 for a chance to win round trip airfare for two anywhere Delta flies in the continental United States, plus hotel accommodations and $250 in spending cash. We'll announce our winner Monday, September 16th during our Braves telecast. Message and data rates may apply. Entrants may receive one text message confirming entry, and the winner may be contacted by text message. Braves look for more against Justin Masterson. You see Jason Hayward back at the ballpark for a second night. Talked to him in the locker room before the game. One thing that I noticed from just yesterday, the swelling has gone down pretty remarkably in the facial area for Jason after the plates were inserted. But still no solid food for at least 4 weeks, he said.
He said he woke up with a new mouth. He said all the plate work was done inside the mouth, and he's got stitches in there, and he woke up and he had stitches inside his mouth, braces on his teeth, rubber bands hooked up. He said, a new mouth.
Remarkable he lost no teeth in that terrifying sequence up in New York. Three balls and a strike to a man who has worn out the Indians in his big league career. That's our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot.
8 for 15 against him coming in.
Chris began play second behind Yadier Molina of the Cardinals for the National League batting average lead. Cabrera at short will scoop and fire, and he gets his man for first out.
He'd run hard down the line every time. You never know when a guy might drop one.
McCann singled and scored the Braves' first run.
One thing, though, for Chris that I can't forget is that he's got a toe that's still bothering him from that turf toe type jab he made into the bag in St. Louis. That's still painful.
High fly with a shift on. Michael Bourne in center comes galloping in and gets there. That's the second out. Boy, you look at the face of Chris Johnson. That is the face of a man that's chasing down a batting title. Good hitters hate making outs. I don't think there's a guy on this team that hates him any less than that guy.
Well, and in his defense, too, the night that he got hurt, that he hurt his toe. I mean, he was really busting it down the line, could smell a hit, and kind of lunged at the bag and stubbed his foot on the base.
Well, what a great story he's been, and what if he wins that batting title? Wow. Asked Greg Walker today if he'd ever coached a batting title winner. He said he's had a couple top five MVP guys and some Silver Slugger guys, but never coached a batting title winner. So what a story Chris has been. Let's hope it continues.
And the man Chris followed at third base for the Braves is at the ballpark tonight. Chipper Jones is here watching the game in the second row over by the Braves on deck circle.
You'll be happy to hear, Joe, that Chipper gave up Twitter. He said, I'm going to be on here for a year. Last year, he almost a year to the date, he said goodbye. It's a sad day for me.
Good for him.
No.
You won't be far behind.
I'm stuck.
When you have over 1 million followers, Murph, it's tough to just turn your back on them, right?
That's right. That's right.
Full count pitch. And Dan takes a walk. He's at first with 2 outs.
Chipper was a little more colorful on Twitter than I am, Joe.
Was he?
Yes. Didn't hold back. He never held back. That's why everybody went to him after a game for an interview. Twitter was the same way. But he's done.
B.J. Upton with 2 outs. He popped out to short in his lone at bat tonight. And that rocked the world of Santana. Strike 1.
Boy, side of the mask and then the shoulder.
There's a story online on ESPN earlier in the week talking about the concussion problems that baseball is becoming more and more concerned with, especially among catchers. Many of them are starting to go back to the old-fashioned catcher's mask like the one Santana's wearing, a heavier, more padded model to try to give him a little more relief rather than the hockey-style mask.
I wonder which one is cooler. You know, when you wear the traditional mask, you've got a helmet on underneath that. That helmet's hot. I'll have to ask Brian McCann or Gerald Laird that question. Brian had shifted to a hockey-style mask, but went back to the old style.
Our old pal David Ross, who's now with the Red Sox, missed a significant amount of time this year with a concussion, and he was one of the hockey mask guys. He's gone back to the old-fashioned one with the Boston Ball Club. And Upton takes a strike that ends the inning. BJ is caught looking. That is the 4th strikeout for Masterson. On we go to the 4th inning. Nice night in Atlanta with the Braves up 2. brought to you in part by AT&T Uverse, by Delta Airlines, and by Ford. We're through 3, 2-0. Atlanta leading the Indians in Game 2 of the series. We hit a home run on trivia last night, fellas. Let's see if we can do it again tonight. Our AT&T Uverse trivia question for Game 2 is, name the last Indians outfielder to win a Gold Glove.
Surely it doesn't go all the way back to Rick Manning. Got to be somebody since him.
I think, right?
Got a name. Unbelievably, I can't. Well, doesn't correct me if I'm wrong. Make sure he played for Cleveland. How about Lofton?
Lofton. Oh, yeah.
Maybe who else?
It's a good idea.
I'd say Albert Bell's probably not a likely answer. Boy, can he hit. Strike one to Santana. And a shot into right center field. BJ on the run makes a diving catch. There's a fine play.
That was a beauty.
Sure was, Joe. Got a good jump, ball tailing away from him. Good job, BJ. See the shadows on the back of his uniform there. That's a view of how dark it does get sometimes out there in the outfield here, turn field.
He did get a good jump and had a lot of room he had to cover and did. Saved an extra base hit.
Should go with Kenny Lofton.
Yeah, that's because it's the only one I could think of.
Grady Sizemore.
Ooh, real good player. Fly ball shallow right. Cabrera is going to be and out. Schaefer is there and has it. That's out number 2. More on Grady Sizemore in a second. Braves fans, we invite you to get the VIP treatment on our custom luxury coach, the Fox Sports South Fan Express. When your group buys tickets to a Braves game, travel on the Fan Express is complimentary. Log on to foxsportssouth.com to learn more. For a while there, Grady Sizemore was going to be the next great thing in the American League. But injuries have really derailed his career. Had something last week, but Sizemore, though, hasn't given up the dream of playing Major League Baseball. He is unsigned and is trying to get his body straight this regular season, this offseason, and might try to catch on with somebody next year.
Well, good for him.
Mike Aviles just unloaded a line drive home run to left.
Some of the Indian fans.
Eighth homer for Aviles. That cuts the Braves lead in half.
Attaboy, Tito.
One of the features of what is now, I think, Progressive Field in Cleveland is that high wall in left field. I'm not sure that one would have been high enough to clear it if he were playing at home, but it was a laser getting out of here tonight.
It's all one-run game. Michael Brantley is the batter.
Oh, so that was the person making all that racket.
Good for her. She is a faithful Indians fan. They have been waiting a long time in Cleveland for a World Series championship. Out away at the plate. 1948, I believe, was the last time they did it. Trying to make a final push in late August and September to get in the playoffs some way, somehow. They're 3 out in the wild card, only 5.5 back of the Tigers, who they face next. And count to Brantley now, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Good breeze blowing out toward right tonight.
Lined up the middle.
Well, there was another case where Paul got ahead in the count and wasn't making a good enough pitch ahead in the count to get Brantley to offer, and then 3-2 had to make a better pitch, and he capitalized.
Airlines, proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves, as Drew Stubbs hits. Stubbs is strikeout prone. He took a 3rd strike, and that ended the Indians' 2nd inning. Mahalam's had 1-1-2-3 frame tonight. Stubbs, a tall, rangy kid, 6'4", 205 pounds. He'll be 29 in October. He was born in Atlanta, Texas, that is. The Reds took him in the 1st round of the draft in 2006 with the 8th overall pick that year.
Well, you can understand why. Played at the University of Texas, put up huge numbers for that program, playing center field, great power, excellent speed. Those kind of guys playing center field with that kind of experience at a top-notch Division I college, they don't come along too often.
Runner at first goes. The pitch is low. The throw to second is low as well. It's a stolen base for Brantley. His 14th.
Went on his first move.
Got a real good jump, considering that he threw over there 3 times in a row and then just went on his first move.
So here's where the absence of the DH may help Paul Mahalam in a 1-run game. You can pitch around Stubbs and go after the pitcher, even though Masterson has a hit tonight. An intentional walk, and now 2 are on with 2 out. I'll bet his knees are knocking, fellas, as he looks up at his picture on the scoreboard and sees a 1,000 batting average. Line drive into right. Schaefer, good speed, made a basket catch. And that retires the side. The Indians 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position in the game, but they score their first run on a Mike Avila's homer. Bottom of the fourth inning, 2-1 now. The Braves in front. A 2-1 lead over Cleveland. Close game. See how these two teams have done in that statistic. That's our cold hard fact, and it's brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Most one-run wins this year belongs to Cleveland, along with Oakland and Kansas City at 24. Cleveland the best record, though. Those are American League highs.
This year, the Braves in one-run games are 20-14 for the season. Let's see if Atlanta can extend the lead. Simmons, Mahalam, and then the top of the order coming up. It's not been an easy night for Masterson. He's walked 3 men, struck out 4. He's thrown a bunch of pitches. Doesn't yet have a 1-2-3 inning. Way high, 1 ball, no strikes. Pirates lead Milwaukee 2-0 in the 4th inning at PNC Park. Marlon Byrd is in that game. Don't know if John Buck is. It's the 2 newest Pirates after coming from the Mets yesterday. Washington's ahead of Miami 1-0 in the 2nd inning. The Reds lead the Cardinals in the 1st inning. That's 2-0. That's Adam Wainwright starting for the Cardinals tonight. Fresh off his complete game against the Braves.
Yeah, how good are the Reds going? They lose the first 2 and then trying to figure out something to get a win tonight. They got to deal with Wainwright. But a good first inning for them.
Now it's a 3-0 score at St. Louis. And a 5-pitch walk puts Simmons at first base. Good start for the Braves 4th inning. And Masterson has issued a walk in every inning pitched tonight. And look at that pitch count.
"27 starts on the year for Paul and only 1 sacrifice. That's unusual. How many total opportunities he's had.
He lays down a beauty. A little miscommunication between Masterson and Swisher. That works to the Braves' advantage. The sacrifice is successful. Simmons at second for the top of the order and 1 out.
That was a beauty.
Schaefer's walked and has singled home the 2 Atlanta runs.
As Dale said, took that sinker the other way. Did a good job and drove in the first 2.
Making his 37th start for Atlanta tonight. And he's way ahead. 2 balls, no strikes.
Madison all over the place, isn't he?
Wasn't sure about that one.
Well, it looked to be a little bit off the plate. I think it's a good pitch to take. Being the leadoff hitter, hitting 2-0. Want to make sure you get a good pitch. It looks like it was a little bit off.
A roller to the right side. Swisher will retire Schaefer. Anderson Simmons to third, but that cost the Braves their second out.
Time for Georgia Power Energy tip number 11. Gerald Laird, number 11. Reduce the amount of energy your air conditioner uses during electricity peaks in the summer and receive a $20 credit from Georgia Power's Power Credit Program. Learn more at georgiapower.com/powercredit.
Justin got a sinker his last time up, and he ripped it for a hit.
Cincinnati 5 in the top of the first, still batting off of Wainwright.
Two balls, no strikes for Justin. I want to suggest he's pitching around Upton, but he's pitching him awfully carefully.
I was thinking the same thing, Chip. You've got to be a little careful, even though he struck out Freddie a couple times. I don't want to give him another chance.
That's pulled foul at third. It's a full count. Breaking ball got Upton. Nice comeback by Masterson. And Anderson Simmons is left stranded at third base in the Braves' fourth inning. Top of the order coming up for Cleveland in the fifth. Good ball game. Braves lead it 2-1. Are dueling in game 2 of the series. Paul leads the game by a 2-1 score.
Mahalam only gave up the home run to Aviles so far through the first 4 innings. Able to pitch out of a jam where the first couple of guys reached in the 3rd inning, the pitcher and Michael Bourne. Got a double play and a ground out to avoid any runs there.
That's bounced at second. And Aguilar's got it. And Bourne's retired. 1 out.
So important to keep him off the bases leading off innings.
That is the active stolen base leader in baseball since 2008. And Bourne's stolen base prowess, our Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboard.
Well, Rajai Davis second on that list. That surprises me a little bit. B.J. Upton in there in 5th place.
Well, it's interesting that Bourne and B.J. are on that stolen base thing, because I guess it is a cautionary tale about changing leagues and signing a big contract. I don't know that Bourne is having as disappointing a season as B.J. Upton is for the Braves while a member of the Indians. That's something a lot of folks, I think, are wondering about both players. Is the change of leagues as big a deal today, Murph and Joe, as it was 20, 30, 40 years ago?
Well, you would think with interleague play, there's a chance that it wouldn't be that big of a deal as much as it used to be. But occasionally it could be. I think it's just kind of one of those odd things. I was kind of interested in Michael Bourne's caught stealing number, which leads the league. Is that correct? I thought it
10 of them.
I heard him say there's some things for him to learn over there and learn pitchers, but I think it's just a couple of guys that are just kind of caught a little bit. I mean, Michael Bourne's done well. BJ obviously is in a little bit of a funk here and waiting for him to break out of it.
Forget the changing league part, but changing teams is difficult enough in and of itself, is it not?
I would agree with you there. There's no question. You just get comfortable, you get your routine, and sometimes it can affect you, no question.
2-2 to Nick Swisher, who has singled and has hit the double play.
I don't mean to oversimplify it, but with the advent of free agency, where players were beginning to move frequently, change leagues, you see guys a lot more often in either league thanks to interleague play, as Dale pointed out. But now guys are changing leagues every couple of years. Shouldn't be that many surprises.
Swisher at short is retired by Simmons. That's the 2nd out. Mahalam needs one more to qualify for the win. He leads the game 2-1. Bases are empty in the 5th inning. Braves fans, the 2013 postseason is right around the corner, and tickets go on sale Friday, August 30th. Don't miss your chance to see the Braves this October here at Turner Field. Get ready to order National League Division Series tickets on the 30th. Go to Braves.com/postseason today for details. Kipnis has an 0 for 2 night. There's that big Ephus pitch.
Wait a minute here.
Yep.
Did that say what I thought it said?
It did.
Get my camera out and take a picture of that.
You can call Chase Sutton and ask him about it.
59. Wow. I like it. Followed up with that. I like that. preceded by a 59-mile-an-hour curveball. Probably looked like 110.
Then he changed the arm angle with the third pitch.
So 90 miles per hour.
So Kipnis has seen the whole arsenal here.
And not to mention his best fastball of the night.
Slow roller out to short. Anderson's got it. And another low throw and another great scoop by Freddie Freeman. He has been great defensively in this series. 3 up, 3 down. Bottom of the 5th inning. 2-1. Braves in front.
Getting the lead off. He has shown off with his defense once again. Our Home Depot tools from the dugout. I asked 15-year Major League veteran shortstop Scott Fletcher what a good first baseman, specifically Freddie Freeman, does for the infield.
I just think overall with Freddie, I mean, you see balls in the dirt that he picks, that he makes look easy. You see balls that you think are over his head that he comes down with. He's got such a great arm span. He's got such a great feel for digging balls out of the dirt. He knows how to work the bag, and that's a huge asset when you've got a guy that knows how to work his feet around the bag and get a couple more feet for you either way.
Let's not forget how good Scott Fletcher was as a shortstop, #1 in the American League of Defensive WAR in '83 for the White Sox. There's another great pick by Freeman. It doesn't matter where the ball is. Seems to find a way to get to it, guys. Even when he's falling over, he still seems to find a way to find the bag.
Well, that's some great points. You know, the first baseman, you always think about the pitcher and the catcher being involved in every pitch. Obviously they are, but the first baseman is involved in every ground ball to the infield. And you just take for granted sometimes how invaluable of a position that is.
At short, Cabrera's got it, and he takes care of Freeman. It's interesting when you look at the Atlanta infield, Joe. Anderson Simmons' glove overshadows his bat. I think it may be safe to say that Freddie Freeman's bat overshadows the good work he does defensively.
Well, we were just talking up here between innings after his last at bat that, it might be time for Freddie to get a day off. His bat speed doesn't look like it was what it was a couple of weeks ago. But I don't know if you can take his glove out of the lineup.
Right?
Yeah.
High hopper by Chris Johnson. Another chance at short. Cabrera loads up, and that nearly cost him. Chris is out by a quarter step at first, and quickly 2 are out in the inning. Chris Johnson had an Ironman streak going for the Braves, too. He had played in 62 consecutive games before getting a day off.
One of the advantages of having a big lead down the stretch is you can gear up, get things right, get guys that need days off.
Great luxury is right.
Really good starting pitching. I know they did that for Mike Minor his last start.
McCann beats the shift with a bunt.
Why not? I know with 2 out, you might like to see Brian hit a double, but this is our Zaxby's indescribably good play. That was a pretty good pitch, too.
Yeah, I really like that. I agree with you. Obviously, a power hitter. You might want to see him do some damage, but with a couple outs, maybe Dan Uggla can hit one into the seat somewhere. I like it. At least it gives the other team something to think about, or leading off an inning occasionally.
That's Brian's 5th infield hit this year for the Braves.
I don't want Brian to make a habit out of it.
No,
I like it.
But it might affect their defensive setup next time he comes up, too, if there's nobody on.
Quick strikes to Dan Uggla.
Well, you'll remember we didn't like Justin's bunt, but that's because guys were on.
Right.
We don't like that, but I like that once in a while. With a shift that dramatic, good for Brian.
And Uggla chased one collarbone high, and he is down on strikes.
That was a nasty sequence there. Mr. Masterson had his dander up a little.
After the bunt hit, Uggla strikes out swinging, and we head to the 6th.
The Coors Light cold freeze cam. Nice play by B.J. Upton off the bat of Carlos Santana leading off the 4th inning. A couple of hard hit balls that inning. It might have been a different inning. That was the inning Aviles hit the homer too, but watch this play as B.J. ranged a long way to his left. And a nice lunging catch here to rob Santana of a base hit for sure, maybe extra bases. That's the freeze cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
So this tight game moves along to the 6th inning. It's Carlos Santana. Holland delivers a strike. Santana walked his first time up and lined out. And he's going to line for a single to lead off the 6th inning. Asdrubal Cabrera is the Cleveland shortstop. Quite a trade Cleveland made with Seattle to get this guy several years back. They sent Eduardo Perez to the Mariners and got their starting shortstop of the future in return. A late swing, strike one. He tried to bunt and was unsuccessful. It's 0-2.
Major difference in the two leagues. With the DH in the American League, you don't bunt too often unless it's a game on the line situation late. The National League, you have pitchers bunting all the time. Atlanta tonight with the sacrifice by Mahalam. The Braves have 46 sacrifice bunts. Cleveland has 20.
That's in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Personally, I'm not a fan of interleague play this late in the season. To change it up, I'd like to see the visiting team's rules be used to play in the ballpark. Just to spice it up for the hometown fans. In the words of Cleveland in town, we play with a DH. And then if the Braves were to go to Cleveland and play, you play the National League style.
That would shake it up a little bit. Fans of those cities a chance to see something a little different.
I mean, there's an even more obvious solution.
Let's just unify both leagues. It's kind of a argument that's been going on for way too long.
I vote get rid of the DH and play real baseball.
Well, I would agree with you, but that ain't going to happen. You think?
Just go ahead and burst my balloon, man.
I know it. I know it. I'm just getting old and opinionated. I couldn't be more on your side of that argument. It's just I don't see the leagues unifying in that direction. But it is still the strangest thing that the only league in the world that has the DH is the National League.
That doesn't have it?
Yeah, that doesn't have a DH. I'm sorry. It's the only place you play in any league anywhere is the National League. I mean, although I would agree with you, Chip, I'm right there with you. It's just that let's do what everybody else is doing, unfortunately.
Let's see how the Indians play it here with the catcher running at first. A payoff pitch is due as Drupal Cabrera.
I think the next commissioner will figure it out. That's what I think. Make a decision on this and force
so when Mr. Selig decides he's finished and you're named the commissioner, will you have it figured out by then?
Yes. I'm ready to go. However, if I'm commissioner, we're not doing what I just said.
No?
Yeah, no.
You're allowed to change your mind.
No,
Selig, to his credit, he's evolved on replay. He was dead set against it. 3-2 pitch, again pulled foul. And along at bat continues for us Drupal Cabrera.
The problem with the DH, as Tom Glavine would say, is that real athletes just do not get to hit. And that's a shame that the fans do not get to see real athletes take a bat, do some damage.
Bouncing ball to short. Simmons to Ugler for 1. Dan the turn, double play. They don't bunt, they don't try to steal, and they're doubled up. 2-away, 6th inning.
Took 10 pitches to get it done, but Mahala made the pitch to finally get the ground ball. Cabrera put up a good battle here. Got a high changeup too.
Paul's spot in the batting order is due 3rd when the Braves hit. Let's see if he can get Aviles, who homered against him last time up. And he golfs one toward left. Long run. And the catch made out there by Justin Upton, and that retires the side. A leadoff single, a double play, and a flyout sends this game to the home half of the 6th. More offense tonight than we saw last evening as far as the hits are concerned. And for an in-depth look, let's check out tonight's Subway in-game box score.
Jordan Schaefer with the big hit of the night. Andrelton Simmons also had a double that inning to move McCann to third. Then a walk to the pitcher loaded the bases before Schaefer drove a couple in. But the Braves have left 7 men on base tonight. 3 in that second inning.
Will Mulholland continue? That's the question we will have as the Braves come up with B.J. Upton, Andrelton Simmons, and then Mulholland's spot.
Bullpen's still busy.
Luis Ayala was up a moment ago, but he's taken a seat.
Carpenter up now.
Always good to see Eddie Perez checking on his charges as they loosen up. And B.J. Upton leads off and takes inside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, and Freddie Gonzalez and Carlos Tosca talking it over too, knowing that Masterson's spot comes up next inning third, and who the pinch hitter possibilities might be for Cleveland.
Bad hit, BJ. He tried to get out of the way and couldn't. So there's a start for the Braves, a hit batsman. Masterson's hit 16 guys this year now.
Well, that breaking ball that he throws to right-handed hitters, he throws it behind him. You can understand how that happens. This one was behind him and came back only enough to clip BJ on the thigh.
Let's see how the Braves play it. Thinking about a straight steal. Upton has 11 stolen bases. And Terdoslavich is in the on-deck circle. Popped him up. Cabrera deep short will have a play, and he makes it. There's out number 1.
Fans, here's the steal of the week. Save up to 47% on seats to the Braves series against the Marlins this weekend with tonight's steal of the week. Purchase a field reserve ticket for only $36 and you'll receive a Dale Murphy bobblehead for free. Act now and get this deal by visiting Braves.com/steal tonight. There you go.
What do you think of the likeness?
Oh, yikes. I
Good
like
one.
it.
Yeah, good one. Got the powder blues on. Very nice.
You know, that night that we had that bobblehead night, they had the little Braves logo on the bases. They had a little Dale Murphy 3 on there, and they sent me one of the bases.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Really nice touch.
So it's Elliot Johnson, not Joey Terdoslavich.
Someone in the truck wanted to know if that bobblehead was powered by gas or diesel.
Why did he both? Yeah. It's a hybrid. It's a hybrid engine. Takes both.
BJ was leading and got picked off.
Well, you're exactly right, Chip. Leaning. Here you see his first step is the other way instead of back, and I might have got back in there actually.
Might have been a whiff on the tag.
Yeah.
Hard to tell that at real speed, though.
Elliot Johnson, line drive to left. And Brantley is there, and that retires the side. A promising start to the 6th inning. it ends in disappointing fashion. We head to the 7th, a 2-1 game.
See it on your.
We are through 6 in Atlanta with the Braves in front of the Indians. 2-1 is your score. A little bit of frustration for both offenses. You look at that last column. A lot of scoring opportunities again for Cleveland in game 2. They've left 5 on base. The Braves have stranded 7 men so far.
Cleveland left 10 last night when they got shut out.
So Mahalam's night is finished. He goes 6 innings of 1-run ball. And the man answering the AT&T goal to the bullpen is another one of our unsung role type players this season for the Braves. David Carpenter has been a revelation in his 40 games so far.
Last 3 games of the road trip. 1 game at New York, 2 at St. Louis. Worked an inning and 2/3 total. Gave up 1 run, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. He had that 1 outing in St. Louis. Where I thought he struck out the side. I don't see it on his list. I'll go back.
Brantley greets him with a base hit the other way. So he represents the tying run and has his 2nd hit in as many at bats. He's also grounded out to shorts. Brantley 2 for 3.
I was mistaken. It was another game, not in St. Louis.
Stubbs. He has struck out and was walked intentionally. He takes low, did show bunt. He is a former National League player, so it might be a good guy to try to bunt with for Terry Francona.
That looked like a bunt for a base hit move there.
Back-to-back strikes has Stubbs behind in the count.
Carpenter got him to flinch. Good breaking ball.
Broken bat. And there's only one play. It's to first base. That's as good as a sacrifice. Brantley to second, one out, and we'll see who comes out to hit for Cleveland. All season long, Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day.
This is Matt Carson.
And Roger McDowell out, perhaps with a scouting report on Carson.
I could use one. He just got called up today from Columbus.
6 innings for Masterson. 2 runs. 5 hits. He struck out 6. He walked 4. He hit a batter. So he needs some help from his offense if he's to avoid a defeat. Carson's no kid. He is 32 years old now. He was originally a New York Yankee draft pick. That was all the way back in 2002. Got to the big leagues for the first time in 2009 with Oakland. Last year, 26 games with the Twins. He's taking over for Ryan Rayburn. He's had a good run for the Indians, but he's got a left Achilles problem. Thank you, Dave.
And on the DL.
2 quick strikes to Carson. Carpenter made short work of him. 2 outs.
It's pretty impressive right there. 96, 96, and 97. Tough to pinch hit in that situation. And you got that good of fastballs coming at you.
So Carpenter will be taken down after facing 3 Cleveland hitters. A single, a ground out, and a strikeout. Scott Downs will come on and try to retire Michael Bourne in a 1-run game.
By the Georgia Lottery, by the Home Depot, and by Toyota.
Two-one Runner at second, 2 outs. Braves up 2-1 over the Indians. And Michael Bourne is scheduled to hit. And he'll face Scott Downs.
Kind of featured him in the opening comments tonight, actually talking about the contributions of guys like he and Elliott Johnson. And last night, certainly part of what Scott has done, striking out 3 of the 4 guys he faced, including Jason Giambi when things were hot and heavy. Lefties are 2 for 15 against him since he joined the Braves, with 9 strikeouts.
All the good work Michael can do at the plate, he can strike out a lot too. Twice last night, none tonight in a 1 for 3 effort for Cleveland. Upstairs, 2 balls, no strikes. Three straight out of the zone from Scott. And now Bourne in the catbird seat. 3 balls, no strikes. Indians so far in this game are 0 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Dangerous pitch to Bourne. Yeah. Fly ball, well hit toward left, but Upton is back and under it, and he's got it. And the side is retired. Downs rallies from a 3-0 count. He retires Michael Bourne to send this game to the 7th inning stretch. Top of the order up for the Braves. That's your Delta Airlines on deck trio. Atlanta leads by a run. The Braves leading Cleveland. Now it's battle of the bullpens. Let's see if the Braves can break through against young Brian Shaw.
Shaw came over from the Diamondbacks in that big 3-team deal last year with Cleveland, Arizona, and Cincinnati. He was in 64 games last year with Arizona, went 1-6. A lot of games this year, as you see, with Cleveland too. Not much scoring tonight either. Like last night, easy to show that to you. Bases loaded, base hit with 2 out by Jordan Schaefer in the 2nd inning. Plated 2 runs. That's the Atlanta scoring. And then Mike Aviles on a hanging breaking ball hit his 9th home run of the year into the seats in left field in the 4th. A lot of cutters from Brian Shaw. Throws 90 to 95. Also has a slider.
And plenty of life on the fastball at 94 miles an hour. Jordan Schaefer has the decisive hit for the Braves tonight. A 2-run single in the 2nd. It came with 2 out. Ball, 1 strike. There's a great start. Jordan Schaefer has a 2-hit game.
How'd he hit that pitch, Murph?
Yeah, I don't. Talk about keeping your hands inside. Well, this is keeping them way inside.
Nice job going down and in. He has 1 stolen base tonight. That to me was a balk. I'll tell you why. That was a balk too. He just spun around. He didn't even step over there. But when he stepped off a minute ago, he didn't step off the rubber. He still had his foot on the backside of the rubber. When you step off, that's what you do. You step off.
Got to, yeah, you can't step off. You can't step to the side, either side. You have to step directly back
and clear it.
0-1 for Justin. Good lead by Schaefer. Not going, and the pitch missed inside.
I would love to see some movement here out of Jordan Schaefer. Maybe a little hit and run action. I don't think Justin Upton is the prototypical hit and run number 2 hitter, but sometimes you got to do it.
Another half-step lead, and Schaefer back. Throw to first, short hopped and caught by Swisher.
Jordan definitely looks a little runnerish, as they like to say over there. A little runnerish.
Watch his front foot. I mean, that's just turning his foot. He's not stepping. Getting away with it, though. It's a good move. You can get away with it.
Quick.
Justin Upton's last homer came on August 22nd against Joe Kelly in St. Louis. He's hit 24 home runs in total this year. And it's not to be this time. He strikes out on a fastball. Upton's out number 1. And Freddie Freeman's the hitter. Freeman's 0 for 3.
Masterson started him with a couple of at bats with breaking balls. See if they do the same thing here with Shaw. Fastball. This guy throws across his body a lot like Santana did last night. Or excuse me, Salazar.
I meant to ask you too, what did you think of Salazar's work last night? Swisher missed the ball, rolled over the top of Schaefer, and Jordan came out the worse for wear.
Got any leather on it?
No.
Maybe a little, maybe not.
At least it didn't step on him. They either got him in the ribs or the back of the arm. Let's take another look at it. Oh, Spikes got him on the fingers. I mean, the throw hit him in the arm, but Swisher's foot swung around there and stepped on his fingers.
So is Jordan saying, hey, you know, go ahead and catch the next one, eh? One ball, no strikes.
Get back to your question about Salazar, Chip. I think what we saw last night was a couple of young pitchers that really battled through some not having their best stuff, but good arm. Not a lot of movement. I talked to Jordan Schaefer a little bit. I said, what'd you think last night? He said, well, he did throw hard, but not a ton of movement in his fastball.
They're being very careful with his innings in Cleveland. They're going to consider shutting him down when he gets closer to his innings pitch limit, whatever that is.
It's such a, you know, we talked a little bit about that, but that's unusual. What do you do next year? You're in a pennant race. You're all of a sudden going to stretch him out all through September.
Runner goes. The throw to second's going to get Schaefer. Oh, Jordan thought he was in safely. The tag looked like it got him around the back of the belt. And he's thrown out trying to steal second base for the second out of the inning. Have to take another look at that one.
Boy, he picked a good pitch to run on, too.
Got to see another look at this one.
Oh, my. Oh. Jim Wolf missed this one.
I don't think there's any question about that. Wow. So next year that will be a.
That would be well, we don't know for sure, but I would assume that would be a reviewable call.
When you're straddling the runner and tag him that high, I don't know when I've seen a guy called out.
Right. So instead of a runner at second and one out for Freeman, it's now 2 outs, bases empty, and a full count. Fly ball. Hit high in the air to left. Brantley drifts back, and he's got it to retire the side. No runs, a hit, and nobody left. 8th inning rolls around. Swisher, Kipnis, and Santana coming up for Cleveland. Back to our AT&T Ubers trivia question tonight. And the question had to do with the defense of the Cleveland Indians. Can you name the last Indians outfielder to win a Gold Glove?
I'm going to go Sizemore.
Okay.
Kenny Lofton.
I'm going to say Brett Butler, in keeping with our former Braves.
Nice.
Who played with the Indians. Let's see if you're able to get it right. Way to go, Jose.
Bingo.
Nice going, Joe.
I really hope he can come back.
Me too. He was one of my favorite players.
Terrific player. And we got a terrific pitcher on the mound. Luis Avilan will go through the 2, 3, 4 hitters in the 8th inning.
Worked an inning last night. Zeros across. Did give up a hit. Don't you guys see this being kind of a... The Braves have done this. Freddie Gonzalez has done this pretty much all season long, but can't you see this being the kind of setup when the Braves do get to postseason, that from these young starters, if they can get 6 innings out of them, they'll be very happy. Anything beyond that is gravy, and then turn it over to the strength of your club, which is the bullpen.
Right. You figure if you have the lead, Kimbrel's got the 9th, so that's 7 innings taken care of. As Swisher smacks one into left center field for a hit. He'll take a big turnaround first and stop there. So a promising start for Cleveland. 1 on, nobody out for Kipnis.
Well, it's been the strength. There's no question about this bullpen. So it'll be interesting to see in September. We talk about Mike Minor skipping a start, some of the starters resting up for the playoffs. I think it'll be really interesting to see if Freddie, you know, I hate to say sacrifices a few games, but may have to just give his bullpen a couple nights off, give some guys a chance to eat up some innings. They may have to take one for the team occasionally, as you say, because if that's your strength, you've got to make sure you're ready to go into the playoffs. So there might be a little chance to rest this bullpen as well in September with this big lead.
Agreed.
But it is a marvelous job they've done.
He's got Kipnis in a 2-strike hole.
3rd straight inning, they've led off the inning with a base hit.
And that's the point Joe was making. You get 6 out of your starters and turn it over to the relief corps for 9 outs. You like your chances. Yeah! Lined off the glove of Ugla. He can't get it. And the Indians are in business. 2 on, nobody out. That pitch came on, or that hit came on an 0-2 pitch.
Yeah! Too good a pitch. 0-2. Oh. Try by Dan, just couldn't get up there high enough.
Well, you've got the catcher in the batter's box. A ground ball would be nice. The Indians have hit the 2 double plays this evening.
He's also their cleanup hitter.
He showed bunt and took a ball. The Indians in the series are hitless with runners in scoring position. Down a run in the 8th. Yeah. Popped him up. That's in foul ground. Will Freeman have a play? He will. Big first out.
Good 2-seamer running away from him. That looked like a pretty good pitch to hit. Middle to outer third of the plate, and it just ran right out away from him and off to the end of his bat. Good pitch. Be careful on the first pitch to this guy. We've already seen Cabrera be very aggressive on the first one. And that long at bat his last time up against Mahalam.
He has more power as a left-hand hitter. And virtually the same batting average, lefty-righty. 241 as a right-hand hitter, 244 left-handed. He's hit into 6 double plays. Yes. Swisher and Kipnis with 1 out now. Three and 0. Mike Aviles has homered. He's next. Aviles has battled back to a 3-2 count.
Boy, he reared back for a little extra there. That was 95. Cabrera late on it.
What does he have in mind with a full count? That ball in the dirt. And the bases are loaded for Cleveland.
Nobody up in the Atlanta bullpen. Got Aviles and then Brantley, who's left-handed, and Stubbs again, who's right-handed.
Let's check in with Tom.
Guys, Bob Nightingale of USA Today had a tremendous story on Roger McDowell online yesterday. In it, he pointed out that the Braves for a long time kept a secret stat on McDowell. That was the number of outs or percentage of outs generated by pitchers after he made a visit to the mound. Carlos Tosca kept the number. It was 98%. He's 1 for 1 so far today.
That's effective.
Eddie Perez, guys, said, well, then why don't you go out there more often?
Let's see if it works with Aviles up.
98%.
Wow. Bases loaded, 1 out in a 1-run game. Strike call. Aviles is the team leader in double plays. 10. Line drive right. Tailing away from Schaefer. He gets there on the running track. Runner at third's going to tag and score, and that ties the game. Throw to third is going to be late. Swisher and Kipnis tag up. And the Indians have tied the game in the 8th on a sacrifice fly.
Good hustle there by Kipnis. He was not running right away, but when he saw the throw come in toward first base, he took off. And for Aviles, he's plated both runs tonight for Cleveland.
And he was the man most outspoken about their struggles last night in run scoring situations. So
he hasn't blamed himself.
Yeah, he's backed it up tonight. So you're not out of the woods yet. Here's Brantley with a 2-hit game. And the go-ahead run 90 feet away for the Indians. A foul tip into the glove of McCann. And on the foul tip, the runner between first and second stopped running. And the tag is applied. The ball was tipped and caught, so that's a strike. Not a foul ball. And Asdrubal Cabrera just stopped running, and the Braves throw him out.
Man, there's been some bad base running this year. This is a live ball. When it's caught by Brian McCann, it's just the same as a swing and a miss.
On that foul tip, maybe he was deked by the home plate umpire and saw the foul indication, but he was thrown out, and the Braves are now up in a 2-2 game. The heart of their order: Johnson, McCann, and Dan Uggla. Chris, as we showed you, has had great career luck against the Indians. Tough luck tonight. He's 0 for 3. Atlanta's magic number in the East is at 19. Any combination of Braves wins and Washington losses that adds up to 19 means Atlanta's the champion of the East. We're 2-2 here. Washington's leading Miami 2-1 in the fifth. Steven Strasburg starting that game for the Nationals tonight. Outside, even count.
This guy's got a big arm and seems like he's got a heavy ball too. I mean, it is really popping the leather of Santana. Pretty good emergency swing there too to foul that one off and spoil it.
Ryan Shaw, 25 out of Long Beach State. Was a huge Oakland A's fan growing up in Livermore, California.
Been impressed with Chris Johnson's ability to fight off balls that he can't hit. A lot of guys that aren't hitting .330 would swing and miss. That's one way you hit 330s is you fight off the balls you can't hit, put the ones you can in play. Not that easy to do.
Just a little outside. Full count. Well, the recipe here appears simple. Get a run, turn it over to Kimbrel for the ninth.
I like it.
And Chris, a terrific leadoff at bat in the eighth. You'll see a ninth pitch.
It's not that easy to do when he just threw one in the left-handed batter's box. Fight off a ball 95, 96 in on your hands.
And that one at 94, and Chris missed it. One away, bottom of the eighth. Third game of the series comes your way tomorrow night. It'll be a beauty. We'll tell you who the principals are on our Chevron upcoming starting pitchers.
Chris Medlin looking for his 11th win against Ubaldo Jimenez, who, as a member of the Colorado Rockies, threw a no-hitter here once.
Brian Shaw is going to be taken down by Terry Francona with the bases empty in the eighth inning. Brian McCann and Dan Uggla are scheduled next in a 2-2 game late. Brought to you in part by 5-Hour Energy, by Georgia Power, by Ram Trucks, and by AT&T. Cleveland goes to its bullpen. They want the lefty-lefty matchup with Brian McCann coming up. Chris Johnson struck out against Brian Shaw, the last hitter the Cleveland right-hander faced. And it's going to be Rich Hill. Cleveland signed him as a non-roster player in early February.
Lefties typically see a lot of that. A lot of curveballs. Fastball in the low 90s. Brian 0 for 7 in his career against him.
That's popped to the left side. And Aviles with a 2 RBI night puts the squeeze on that. That's out number 2.
I was a little frustrated there, Joe. I think he's sitting on it too.
Yep.
Sitting on that breaking ball, missed it.
So Terry Francona playing matchups. He's going to go to Jim Joyce and employ a double switch as Hill was assigned Brian McCann, and he got him. Looks like Joe Smith was the man up and throwing. He'll be called upon to face Dan Uggla. We'll tell you about the next change for Cleveland as soon as we find out. 2-2 game, bases empty as we continue on in the Atlanta 8th. Cleveland. Lonnie Chisenhall checks into the game. He'll play third base. He has been put in the 9 spot on the Indians batting order. And Joe Smith is on for the 57th time. And you see what makes him so tough.
Well, he is second on their club in games pitched. But he's being brought in to face a guy who is 4 for 8 against him in his career with a homer, and that's Dan Uggla. Sinker, slider, side armor, high 80s, once in a while a 90, and the slider.
He has the longest scoreless streak by any Cleveland reliever this year, and it's a current streak, 12 2/3 innings. Let's see if Dan can end that. Before we went to commercial break, Dan was talking with Greg Walker. We got a bit of a scouting report, a current scouting report on Smith. As that one's ripped foul out of play, 1 ball, 1 strike. Broken bat pop. That ball dies on the grass. It's an infield hit for Uggla.
A beauty.
Well, he's got his 60-degree wedge down.
Yeah, with some backup on it.
Well, it's a broken 60-degree wedge right now, but it'll work. You know, I'm going back to the 7th inning when Schaefer led off with the base hit, and with 1 out got thrown out, called out at second base. That turned out to be a pretty big play, since they were able to then, in turn, the next half inning tie the game up. Who knows what might have happened if the correct call had been made with Schaefer at second.
Well, let's see if BJ can chase Uggla home. He is 0 for 2 and has been hit by a pitch. After being plunked in the 6th, BJ was picked off. And the baseball got loose in right field.
Never a good sign when it comes flying out of the bullpen.
I was gonna say, where'd that ball come from? Somebody cleared the.
That was our camera operator, Tex Fay, that just fired that one.
Base hit right field by Upton. Uggla will make the turnaround second. He'll chug to third, and he'll make it without a throw.
Good plan, good execution by BJ there with this guy and his sidearm delivery. Didn't look like he was thinking anything but trying to go the other way.
Well, it is an excellent swing. When you're a right-hander and you're facing a right-handed sinker baller, the tendency is always to look in and to pull, because that's where you think the ball is going to end up, and you know it usually will. But you also tend to roll over and hit the top half of the ball. If you go the other way and kind of get under it, drive the ball the other way, if you can think that way like BJ did, you'll have some success.
That's Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach for Cleveland. A scouting report on Andrelton Simmons, perhaps, who this season has tallied 13 two-out runs batted in.
Andrelton has not faced this guy before, and coming from such an odd angle, maybe a good idea to see a pitch first, but you hate to take away any aggressiveness from Andrelton if he somehow makes a mistake.
Back-to-back Braves hits have the go-ahead run 90 feet away in the home 8th. The pitcher spot is due next. Terdoslavich is on deck.
Big hole on the right side where they have to hold Upton.
Chopper toward third. Chisenhall's got it. Looked to second. Fired to first instead. And that retires the side. The Braves threatened but failed to score in the 8th. On we go to the 9th. Still tied 2-2. Jay Onright and Dan O'Toole are joined by Donovan McNabb, Gary Payton, Andy Roddick, and Carissa Thompson to bring you everything you need to know about the world of sports. Fox Sports Live airs nightly on Fox Sports 1. Fox Sports 1's available on all TV providers. Go to foxsports1.com to find out what channel you get Fox Sports 1 on in your area.
Not a save situation for Craig, but a typical move to bring in the closer in a tie ball game, since there will not be a save situation when you're playing at home from this point forward. First blown save in the career of Luis Avilan tonight.
That run he allowed in the 8th inning. Swisher led off with a single. Kipnis an 0-2 hit. Then after a pop out and a sac fly, the crazy caught stealing that took the Indians out of a chance for a bigger inning. Brantley was the man in the batter's box when he tipped the ball into McCann's glove. That started the rundown and into the 8th. So he gets a new set of strikes, but not sure you want him against Craig Kimbrell. Comes in throwing a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
Craig got him 1-2-3 last night. Did not face Brantley.
Fly ball center. Upton played very deeply, but comes in and makes a high catch. May not have been thigh high. Might have been a little lower on second look.
Looked like BJ was playing a little deep. I guess some people would say it would play no doubles. I don't think so. Not in this situation here. I want to make him earn that first base hit, I think. It just looked like it might have been a little deep. Got a little funny jump on it.
But they're all deep, so that must be where they want him, Dale. Look at Justin, who's only a step or two from the warning track.
I like playing deep if the first guy gets on. I don't like playing deep before that first guy gets on, because most of the balls are end up in front of you anyway.
2 outs. Stubbs is retired on a ground ball to short. And this run by Craig Kimbrell continues to be absolutely remarkable. As Joe said, this is not a save situation. But in Craig's last 41 innings, he's allowed 20 hits and 1 run.
That ground ball that ended the bottom of the 8th with runners at first and third. Chisenhall had been playing just about even with the bag at third base. And then right before that pitch was made to Anderson, he backed up about 4 steps, maybe more. Gave him a little more room to handle that ground ball that Anderson hit, as it turned out.
He faced Craig last night and grounded out second. He's got a 1-1 count as we approach 10 o'clock in Atlanta. We're in the top of the 9th inning. A 2-2 game. The news in Washington, the Marlins have taken the lead over the Nationals. And Strasburg, I think, is out of the game. 3-2 Miami. Here Kimbrel a strike away from sending it to the bottom of the 9th. And he just did. Wow. Chisenhall erased on a breaking ball. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 9th inning. 9-1-2 up for the Braves. 2-2 your score.
And Braves tied at 2. Stay tuned for Braves Live, presented by AT&T. We'll have Freddie Gonzalez's press conference, clubhouse interviews, and tonight's highlights. Guys, I can't guarantee anyone will imitate a NASCAR driver, but I can tell you this. The folks from Michael Waltrip Racing, home of the Napa Auto Parts Toyota, they invited Elliott Johnson out to Atlanta Motor Speedway this weekend to take part and get a VIP tour.
That's great.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Well, let's talk about a last at bat win. What do you think, fellas?
Okay.
Braves have 20 of those this year. Smith back out there for the Indians. Joey Turdoslavich pinch hits.
Smith's given up 4 homers, all to lefties.
Joey had a healthy cut.
Yeah, he did. Good swing there.
Only Arizona has more wins than Atlanta and Kansas City's 20 in their final at bat this year. Strike 3, a breaking ball at the knees. Now we go back to the top of the order.
That's a pretty tough pitch there. Oh, a high fastball, then a backdoor breaking ball.
And he threw a little harder than I expected to see him. That fastball for strike 2 is 90.
Yes, yeah.
Got to get the bats going, fellas. We talked about that at the start of the broadcast.
Yep.
Last 6 games or so, they're averaging a little over 2 runs a game, are the Braves, and they're at 2 tonight. A walk to Schaefer might turn into a double. Get on, you might turn him loose.
Well, it would change everything that Smith wants to do when he goes to the plate. He'd have to speed everything up.
Joe mentioned the breeze earlier tonight, still blowing, and blowing favorably for left-hand hitters out toward the right field corner. Low, 3 balls and a strike. Upton to follow Jordan Schaefer in the Atlanta ninth. Bouncing ball towards second. Kipnis, hop, step, throw, safe. A 3-hit game for Schaefer, and there's a start with 1 out in the ninth.
Tell you what, fellas, Kipnis made that a lot closer than I thought it was going to be at first. I didn't think he'd even have an opportunity to throw the ball.
I didn't think he'd throw it either. What a release here. It makes that throw in the bag. Got a chance of getting him with a right. It wasn't a bad throw for the situation he had to be in, but with a throw on the bag, he's got a shot at getting it. Very impressive.
When does Jordan run?
Early to give Justin a chance to be in a decent count to drive him in.
He's got a big lead. And Upton takes inside. 1 ball, no strikes.
This guy's pretty quick to the plate. If you don't make him stop, that was almost a continuation.
He is pretty quick, but he's a good guy to run on since the ball is going to throw that sinker. It's a tough pitch for a catcher to throw him out.
Schaefer got a great jump, and he's in safely that time. Heck of a job by Santana to make that as close as it was. And you were right, Joe. He went on the second pitch of the sequence.
Boy, talk about a quick release here. Throw right on the. Boy, you see that so often. The second baseman taking the throw in front of the bag.
Yeah,
Who took that throw? Is that
That's Kipnis.
Kipnis. Why did great release there. Throw on the bag. What you do is you get to the bag, you straddle the bag, catch that ball and put it down. He took it out front. Not saying Jordan wouldn't have been safe, but.
Popped up by the Braves dugout and foul.
Yeah, just put your glove on the bag, and then if you have to move it, then move it.
Arms in the outfield for Cleveland. Brantley has 10 assists. Michael Bourne's in center. Drew Stubbs is the right fielder.
Stubbs got a good arm too. Michael has the weaker arm of the 3. But we saw Brantley tonight. Base hit to left field. He didn't make a very good throw at all.
Yeah, you're
the
right.
Braves scored 2.
Schaefer a good lead. Kipnis trying to keep him close. Fly ball center, but that's playable for Bourne. 2 out. Now you have the left-hand hitting Freddie Freeman, right-hand hitting Chris Johnson in the on-deck circle.
Well, Freddie's run doesn't mean anything, and it does help set up a force play at second base if their infielders need it, so you would expect them pitch around Freddie. But he's 0 for 4 tonight, 0 for 7 in the series, 0 for his last 13.
And they will walk him. Now it'll be Chris Johnson with 2 on and 2 out. Chris has 31 2-out RBIs this year. He has 7 game-winning RBIs this year.
I don't know what his game plan will be here. I don't know what he and Greg Walker and Scott Fletcher talked about. But this guy so far tonight to right-handed hitters has started him with a lot of breaking stuff inside. Remember when Dan Uggla ripped foul?
Yeah.
I think early in the count, Chris can afford to look for that breaking ball and then turn on it. Because it doesn't seem like he wants to throw it to the middle of the plate and break it away from him.
It's been on the plate.
Yeah.
Right there for a called strike.
It's all right.
Chris has been a little frustrated tonight. He feels like you can see a little frustration with him missing some pitches he should have hit. Challenge here is not to try to do too much here. A good pitch and drive it the other way.
Maybe a setup for the breaking ball.
Down the right field line, but curling foul.
Fastball. Got a good piece of it. But now with Smith ahead in the count, he's got to sit on the fastball and fight off that breaking ball.
I think he's just a little bit sneakier than people are expecting.
Yeah.
And maybe looking at the radar gun, but it's getting on top of you a little quicker than it appears.
And it's kind of riding up too.
Yeah.
From that angle.
And that's unusual for a guy that comes from down there.
There was the breaking ball.
That was a good one to hit. But like you said, Joe, most of them have been on the plate.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't wasted a lot of those breaking balls. Living dangerously.
Oh boy, he lived to tell about it after that one. The only reason he did too is because of the count. Because Chris at a 1-2 count, he's got to think about middle away and kind of tied himself up on that hanger. But that's what he's got to do here.
In for effect. Let's see if he goes outside for result with a 2-2 pitch. Santana wants time. Hot shot, base hit left field. Here comes Schaefer around third. Bradley loads up, throw to the plate, close, late. Braves win. What an at-bat by Chris Johnson. Fought off some tough pitches and headed home happy. Tom?
All right, Chip, thanks. Chris, first career walk-off. What are your emotions right now?
It's pretty good, you know. Anytime somebody gets walked in front of you, you kind of want to try to step up. So I was just trying to have the best at-bat I could and square something up. A little out of breath. Square something up and went through.
It turned into a great at-bat and a tough at-bat. What are you thinking if that at-bat continues? And you thought you had one down here in the corner with 2 strikes.
Yeah, that's my approach. You know, getting something out over, and I was a little late on it, but I was just trying to see the ball as deep as I could. The guy's tough. They pitched us tough all game, and we battled to the end.
You know, before that shot to the corner, you mumbled something either to yourself or to the catcher. Do you remember that? And what are either you saying or trying to remind yourself of?
I'm just always talking to myself up there, trying to remind myself. When I'm thinking, I think my mouth just starts moving too. So just trying to stay with my approach. I do that every night, you know, try to talk to myself, make sure I'm doing the things that I need to do to be successful, and it worked out.
The inning starts, Schaefer gets aboard, then he's able to steal second. Next thing you know, there's 2 outs. But let's talk about his speed and how that set up your at-bat in the inning as a whole.
It's huge. He gets on base, it's a double with his speed. He's such a great base stealer, and he gets himself in a scoring position. So he did a tremendous job for us tonight. He swung the bat amazing, too.
It's late August. It's hot. It's muggy out. A lot of teams are going through the dog days right now. This team could probably afford to coast, but it doesn't. Why not?
We have way too much respect for the teams in our division. We have way too much respect for the Nationals, and we want to have the best record. We want to go out there and play every night. We got a group of guys that come out here and work every day and try to get better every single day. So we're going to keep the pedal to the metal and keep going.
Let's go back real quickly to that game winner. Schaefer's off of second. You know he's moving. Do you know he can score on that play, or do you think it's going to be close? And can you take a peek?
Well, with his speed, I know that I'm just trying to hit a single. You know, I don't need to do too much. Don't need to hit the ball in the gap. So, got to try to keep my swing short and get some through the infield. And I know with Schaefer's speed, he'll be able to get around there.
Thanks for your time. Congratulations. Go cleaned up.
Thank you.
All right, career year for Chris Johnson in his first ever career walk-off. A lot of emotion around this team, Chip.
You're right about that, Tom. 21st last at-bat victory for the Braves. They sink the Indians 3-2 your final score. Craig Kimbrell's the winner. Joe Smith is the loser. And, fellas, here's the game-deciding at-bat.
Fastball, and didn't even look like a strike, up and in on him. But that great inside-out approach, he's still able to get around on it.
The approach, the process, he's stuck with it since day one. He doesn't get out of it. Great at-bat by Chris Johnson. He has good at-bats all the time, continually fighting balls off that he can't hit. Nice going, Chris Johnson. Wow.
And what a night for Jordan Schaefer, fellas. He reaches base 4 times, steals a couple of bases, scores the game-winning run. This is the way the Braves were playing when they had Jason Hayward leading off. Tonight it's Jordan Schaefer.
Just going to say that, Chip, that after kind of a slow start, after coming back from the DL, Jordan's picking up right where he left off and doing a good job of getting on base.
So as you saw, the magic number for the Eastern Division title is trimmed to 18. It could be 17 at night's end if the Marlins can help out the Braves. Atlanta takes care of its business at home and wins by 1.